Hello, and welcome to this episode of Freebirding Freedmans. This is a learning space to help others navigate the empty nest chapters, and I am joined by co-host Joel Freedman, aka my husband, and our guest today is the sole creator of one of my favorite Instagram sites to visit. Catie Keogh is an award-winning Emmy host turned digital creator. Catie brings humor and heart to the empty nest experience. She shares the real and the ridiculous side of midlife. Catie loves to create relatable content, and if she can make someone laugh, goal achieved. After years of doing everything she was supposed to do, now she loves to do just what she wants to do. And Catie, I'd love to hear a little bit more about you from your perspective to start us off. And welcome, and thank you for being here.
Thank you so much. There's Joel. Now I see him. You guys, thank you for letting me be a part of your podcast. I'm really excited to kind of talk to you about this stage of life, I suppose.
And we are so happy. I felt like it was going to be Christmas morning today. I was so excited. I could barely
Aw.
sleep last night. You have helped me and so many other moms along this journey. And I want to sort of know, first of all, what inspired you to start this part of your Instagram, or has this always been how you are? Because I really just know you online for maybe the last 1 to 2 years. How long have you been doing this now?
Well, I've been doing Instagram for a long time, but really kind of resonating with women our age. Yeah, right around when my daughter went to college. But I have an improv comedy background, which a lot of people don't know. I started out as wanting to be an actor. All I wanted to be was on SNL. And then when that didn't happen, life goes on. I did improv for like 6 years, and a lot of my friends went on to that kind of level, but I didn't. So just thought, well, I did pharmaceuticals for a while, but kind of hated it. And so then I just told my husband one day, I'm like, I want to do my dream. And I started this TV show in Chicago, and I did a TV show on NBC in Chicago for 9 years called 24/7 Chicago. And I was able to put my humor into it a little bit, but the humor part really started right when my daughter went off to college, right around that time.
Okay, so let's go back to SNL for one moment, because I know you inspired me to go forward with a lot of things I'm doing. So let's just say you haven't been on SNL yet.
Oh, I like that. Yes. Well, that's it. I mean, I would love to do acting. I mean, that's truly my love. And I think I always try to tell people, it's like when you get to the second act of life, step into what it is that makes you happy, right? And that's exactly what I did. I kind of went to what I loved as a kid or as a young adult. And, I have a good friend, and she loves to cook and bake and garden and all those things. So it's like you don't have to do Instagram to kind of be fulfilled. And I always, just go back to what makes your heart happy.
Yeah, I'm seeing a sitcom in the future with all the
Oh,
material that's
I
coming
like how
through
you
here.
think, Joel.
So,
Well, Joel's like a numbers guy, so let's talk about some numbers that you've noticed on some of the Chateau and Mom and Dad.
yeah, I was really impressed. I actually get a lot of amusement from it too, being on the father side of the empty nest. But love the take, and it looks like some of your Chateau Mom and Dad or Chateau Mary Père is getting like over 2 million hits on Instagram.
Welcome home. As your mother, I will be your personal concierge at Chateau Mom and Dad this holiday season. If there's anything we can get for you at any time, please let me know. Will you be requiring full laundry service at this time? You will be? Okay, great. Where is your things? In the car? No problem. I will have my bellboy go get it, aka your dad, in 2 minutes. Okay. Also, in terms of what beverage of choice you would like, would you prefer sparkling or still? Okay. And in terms of your tea or coffee in the morning, would you like milk? Oat milk? Okay, well, high school you liked milk, but now college you like oat milk. No problem. Upgrade. I was going to stock the pantry as well. Please, would you like Trader Joe's or Whole Foods? Because there's nothing better than those $14 grapes, am I right? Okay, no problem. Absolutely. Will you be dining with us at all? Okay, some days, some nights, no problem. You know what? I will tell the grill to have that ready to go. When you do come, we'll just set a plate every night, just in case. Okay, well, go ahead and go upstairs and get yourself ready. I'll send the dogs up right away. Okay, thank you for coming.
It's incredible how it's been resonating with women and men or moms and dads. It started because when my daughter was coming home for Thanksgiving, I'll just tell you how I came up with this whole concept of it. She was coming home for Thanksgiving, and she's like, "Hey, is there any way you could go to the grocery store and pick up a few things for me?" And I was like, "Of course." And she's like, "Okay, well, from Whole Foods, I want this. And from Trader Joe's, I want this." And she's like, "And also, can you wash the dogs before I get home so that they're clean?" And I'm like, "What am I, your concierge?" And then I was like, "Oh my God, I'm sure every other parent is going through as well." So that's how the whole thing kind of came to be. And then I was gonna call it, what's I gonna call it? Costa Mom and Dad. But then I was like, no, Chateau seems a little fancier. And so that's just kind of how I usually come up with it when I'm walking my dogs. I'll kind of come up with ideas. It's kind of my time, I quiet time then. But yeah, I was shocked. I put out another one yesterday, actually, that's doing really well today. So they love the Chateau mom and dad.
We saw that. And then tell me, what kind of feedback are you getting? Because I'm sure I can see what you're getting on the front page comments, but what kind of messages are you getting in terms of how this is resonating with moms and maybe dads that we don't see?
I mean, people come up to me, especially when our daughter goes to TCU, Texas Christian in Fort Worth. People come up to me all the time there, and or they'll write me notes of like how it was really, really a hard time for them, and now they're, just watching my videos made them not feel so alone. And
And
that's
for
like, oh, I love that. That makes my heart still happy when you're like, I was just doing it to have fun, and I'm touching women. Well, that sounds weird. Um,
no, I know what you mean. You are, and
their
dads.
hearts of like that they were alone and they found laughter in this hard time. That makes me really happy.
And then for you, it's all humor that we see.
Mhm.
But did you have a hard time when your daughter went to
Oh
TCU,
yeah,
which we're not seeing?
yeah, 100%. And I think too, like I find comedy is therapeutic for me. I think it's therapeutic for a lot of people, but I find it's like when I'm upset, I make jokes. Even like when I was giving birth to my daughter and I was like in all this pain, I remember making jokes and my husband was like, "Is that appropriate?" I just, it's like where I go. It's like I don't know what to do. So I'll make a joke and you're like, "Yeah, sorry about that." So I feel like when I'm sad, that laughter brings me comfort. And so for sure, that's why I did it in the beginning because all the things I did in the beginning, I was living my truth. And the one story I tell people all the time, when we dropped off our daughter from college and we came home, I went up to her room and I thought, do I leave that door open or closed? Do you close their door or do you open their door? And it was just a moment of like, I don't know what to do. Like, do you pretend they're still in the room or do you open it and deal with it? And it was like a real moment for me. And when I put that video out, so many women came to me and said, "Oh my gosh, I was feeling the same way. What do we do?" So that all these women in the comments started telling us, "Well, I leave it open for this reason, but I close it for this reason." And I just felt, all of a sudden, I felt a sense of community of these women. And we like are a community and we should stick together because we're all kind of trying to navigate this world right now.
So are you feeling like it is giving you sort of support during the time? Something you're creating is actually coming back to help support your journey as
Oh,
well?
100%. I mean, it's selfish in a lot of ways because you're like, oh gosh, but I love it. I know when I'm feeling a certain way, so are other women. And that's the one thing I do know. I feel like I kind of like today I put one out last night and they're like, oh my gosh, are you in my kitchen? This is exactly what happened to me. And really, I'm just living my truth, right? It's like, or sometimes women will say, hey, you should do something about this. And sometimes I do. It's not always about my daughter because sometimes she's like, people think that's really me, mom. And you need to let them know that I did not say that. So I am an after at the end of the day, but I always get my daughter's approval for the most part because I never want her to feel like I'm taking advantage of anything with her or our relationship in any way. She's pretty cool about it. Yeah.
That was one of my questions, how she was handling it, because I know kids tend to cringe at anything
As
parents
long
do,
as it's
especially if
not
it's in the public.
inappropriate. If I talk like I made a joke, and as adults, I can tell you all this. It was like, oh, I forgot to get my husband a Christmas present. And then in a backhanded like video that I did, I'm like, I'll take care of him later. He'll be just as happy. Well, she saw that online and she's like, what are you doing? That's so inappropriate. And I was like, Keelan, we've been married 25 years. It happens. And she's like, stop. That's the one thing I ask you not to do. So that's sort of why I don't do anything that's going to make her feel uncomfortable. So I deleted it, even though it was doing really well.
Oh, shoot. Well, hopefully she won't listen to this then. Joel, did you have any questions? Just when,
Yeah, well, I have to rewind a little bit since you do have a child who's going to TCU right now. I'm just drawing all kinds of parallels to the Paramount show Landman, and I'm thinking of Angela, who is going through an experience of empty nesting with her daughter going to TCU. So, any similarities between you and the character that we see on
Well,
Landman
my
on
goodness, I hope not. But I do love the show. Our daughter was they paid her like $150 to be an extra. So you see her for like 1 second, and I was gonna do something funny with that. I was like, look how brilliant of an actor she is. Like she like literally walks down the hall. But it
that's
was a fun
exciting.
experience for her. What I think is so cool is I have friends in Ireland. Our family is Irish heritage, and so we have a lot of family there. And I had a friend call me up. Sure, Topher on is that her college that she goes to? She because it's a huge hit in Ireland and abroad. So I was so proud of that. I think they're doing a good job and in terms of like what the school looks like and all that, but I don't know about the storyline. I mean, obviously it's made up, but the kids at TCU are pretty great. They're good kids.
You don't pull up in your convertible and drop her off.
I mean, I've seen those moms, Joel. I think I've seen a couple moms that you're like, oh my goodness. And there is a lot of, I mean, some of the cars that they pull up in and their outfits and their clothes. It's like, whoa. And we're not that
Everything's bigger in
family.
Texas.
That's right. We're not that family, but I appreciate that. I mean, I love it. It's very different from the Midwest, but I love it. So
Yeah, we know quite a few people here from California that chose TCU as where their kids would go to college. So,
I mean, I
uh,
feel like too, we were raised Catholic, and I didn't know this about TCU, but it's predominantly Catholic school, which I didn't realize that, to be honest. I guess back in the day, it used to be called Texas Catholic. I don't know if you knew that. And then they changed to Texas Christian. But what I love about that is like the other day, it's Ash was Ash Wednesday, and she got ashes. She didn't tell me, and she goes to church, and she's in a Bible group, and I'm like, I didn't even have to ask her to do that. So that I love. She has these friends. They're just good kids, and I'm like, oh, So I love that as a parent that she still has her faith and she's growing her faith at TCU, and I think that's pretty special.
Okay, well we can move on from Landman, except for that part when Angela sort of does this over the top drama scene about being separated from her daughter, and I think it is a little larger than life in terms of how we all express it, but it resonated with me a little bit too.
Well, it
So
resonated with me too, and I'll tell you the one thing I did relate with Angela as from per your question. She's like, I'm going to buy a house in Fort Worth, and then she gets a real estate agent. If I didn't do that the first year, I mean, I was like, we can move here. I think that's a really valid thing that women have. And she was like, we're going to buy a house here because I'm not going to be far away from my baby, or however she talks. And I felt that. So in that regard, I related to Angela that way because yeah, that's her name, Angela, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Because I was doing the same thing. I'm like, I didn't quite call the realtor, but I was thinking about it.
When I think you mentioned too that wherever your daughter lands, you want the flexibility to be able to land somewhere nearby too, even
Mhm.
after college. Are you still thinking that way?
Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of one child because, wherever she goes, I'll go. Basically, once she gets settled, I won't go right away. But once she has kids and those types of things. But I think I mean, I love Austin. She loves Austin. That would be something I would love to kind of look into. But I love California too. It's a great state.
Yes, well, we definitely want you out here in person one of these days. Next
That's
visit, we'll catch you sitting right next to us here. And then when you mentioned TCU, I don't want to necessarily talk specifically about TCU, but the cost of out-of-state and private college, which let's see, are ours considered private? Anyways, they're considered expensive times two. And so I want to talk a little bit about the pieces you've done that sort of hint at just how expensive the process is nowadays and how you've been able to make that kind of funny, make us laugh about,
Well,
the
you
sacrifices we
gotta
make.
laugh when that flies out your bank account. No, for us, I didn't really look that hard into it. I remember telling her if you can go anywhere you want to go, right? And then she started narrowing it down to TCU, and you're like, well, how much is it? And you're like, oh my goodness. And we've been putting money away since she's a baby, so we had enough to if she got into University of Illinois, and had she gone there, it would have paid for her full tuition and like the money you put away. Um, but she didn't, and she went early entry. When you go early entry, it's like driving the car off the lot at full price. You just pay that's the part I'm like, if I could give advice to someone, our daughter wanted TCU so badly, but if you could just hold off and don't do early decision, you have more negotiating room to like save money or look into scholarships. They do a lot of scholarships at TCU, but yeah, it's really expensive there. And that's why I'm trying to make money as a content creator because mama's got to pay her tuition.
Well, that actually was one of my questions on here too. And obviously I don't expect specifics, but how many, you have 110,000 followers
Almost
as of today?
111. Nothing. Who's
Yeah.
counting? But almost 111.
I mean, that is really impressive. It's not easy to get even one
Yeah.
follower who's, loyal. And so this is generating some income for you at this point.
It is. It is. But it was so funny. The other day I did something and my mother calls me up and she goes, now, what are you promoting exactly? Because it has to be authentic to you. And I was like, Mother, it is. I'm not going to do anything that has been already tried or used. But I mean, I do worry about that because I don't want to become like a commercial. I want them to be able to come to my space and feel safe and trust that whatever I'm going to tell them is true. And so all the sponsors that I'm taking right now are brands that I've worked with or are feel like, oh, that's me. I would actually use this product, or I do use this product. So, but it is. I mean, this is what I tell people too. In our age demo, if you go into social media, there's not a lot of us out there, and so there's a lot of money to be made potentially if you're in that space. So I always tell women like, get into it. Just start doing content if that's what you want, because there's not enough of us out there right now.
And is it the impressions and the followers that you're finding is attracting the sponsors? Is that?
Yes. I had someone tell me I have 100,000, but I have a super engaged audience. So it's all about engagement. It used to be about numbers, but now it doesn't matter about numbers as much as it matters about your engagement and, how they engage with you. And I've got a super engaged audience, which I love because they're amazing women.
So what's
Who are like
a typical? I'm sorry. What's a typical amount of comments that you would get on one of your top reels?
Gosh, I'd have to kind of look, but the one I put up last night, because I've been kind of monitoring that. I mean, I've got over 100 comments, but it's the shares because shares are really important. So right now, I think I'm at like 1,500 shares. But I did a video skiing and it had 15,000 shares. But I had 500,000 views, but 15,000 shares. So that's when it becomes valuable to sponsors, and because it's like, okay, well, people are sharing her content, and that's why you can't skew too far from what you are, because if you do, then people are like, they tune out. They don't want that. So there's a fine line to kind of selling, I think, and making money without selling out. And I don't want to sell out.
So there was two reels that come to mind from skiing, and one of them was the shoes, which I think all the moms, well, most moms would relate when all the shoes are back in the house. Now, it's funny, my husband has a problem when he sees all the shoes in the house, but I think that was the crux of one of your entire videos, wasn't it? Right, having the familiar items there that meant you weren't without your daughter and her friends, right?
When I see her shoes, it makes my heart full when I see all those shoes, especially now. Maybe back in the day when she was younger, I'd be like, oh my gosh, what a mess. But I love it. There's something really special about that.
No, that's amazing. We have our son who's graduated now from college. He went to Alabama. And our experience is maybe 12 of his own shoes sitting right at the front door, which is
Okay, well, that might be
feel
different.
a little different about that, but but that's I like the idea of changing the way to think about those shoes at the front door.
You know what? I think it's fleeting too, right? Because in a few years they'll be gone. And I feel like I'm trying to just soak in and appreciate every moment because I know it's fleeting. I know there's going to be a new chapter coming in a couple years. And so having those shoes at the door, I'm trying to soak it all in. Now she
I,
takes my shoes, so that's my problem. She takes my shoes to school, and I'm like, "Do you know where that one pair is?" She's like, "Oh, sorry, I took your pair of shoes." We have the same size foot, so that's the problem.
and your jewelry sometimes too, right?
My jewelry,
And your clothes.
yeah, yeah.
Are
Mainly
you
my
getting?
jewelry and my purses, and
Are you able to get those back when she comes home for break, or?
no. But you know what's so funny? Sometimes I do, but she loves them so much. In fact, I have this purse, and she's like, "When did you get this brand?" I'm like, "I've literally had this purse for 10 years, but you didn't care in high school." And that's where I think it was very different when we went to TCU. In Chicago, it's not about labels, at least where we're from. It's not about that. And then you go to a certain area or certain colleges, it's more about that. So I'm trying to make sure that that's not as important to her, but it is like she's taking a lot of my purses. So
Our daughter has one of mine too. I don't even know if it's designer, but it was sort of slouchy and that was the style. And I said, "Hey, I have an old slouchy one and we can save money and put that towards your
I
clothes
don't
instead."
love it. I kind of love it that they think your stuff is cute enough that they want to wear it. So I kind of love that too.
It's old enough that it's vintage. No, hopefully some of the new stuff is cute too. And then the other one was the air balloon ride. So I want to talk a little bit about just kind of facing your challenges and fears when you're younger than us. So I don't want to say older, but when you're a mom, your kids have moved on and you're like, I'm going to try something really scary. But then it sounds like you loved it.
Well, if I'm being totally honest, I didn't. I loved that I did it, but I was scared. I was having a panic attack. No joke. I go up and I'm like, I'm going to do this. You wake up in the morning and you're going to go see sunrise in Arizona. I'm like, that's amazing. So I was nervous, but I'm like, I'm going to do it. Well, then we get in and we took off and I'm like, oh, like I could jump if I wanted to. And then I was thinking, we're in a wicker basket. Like, how safe is that? And it was a windier day. He's like, we might have to tuck and roll. And I'm like, tuck and roll? What does that mean? So I stayed in the very middle, and there was this young girl. She was like a content creator in her 20s, and she kept leaning over taking photos. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't watch her. So I love that I did it, but would I do it again? No, I don't think so. I was truly having a panic attack. But you know what I did when I was having my panic attack? I went live on social media. And then I was like, well, I did it because it calmed me down. And if I have to have to be a certain way, I could be strong for like the people watching me.
You can
But
get
I
into
truly was
character.
going into, yeah, and that's it. I was like playing a part. I was like, oh my gosh, here we are. Oh, this is so amazing. Look how pretty. But deep down, I was like, I could have a panic attack right now. So, but I did it. And I jumped out of an airplane before too. So, but been there, done that. Wouldn't do that again either. But
I still haven't done either of those. I don't know about you.
Not done
I,
it.
I,
Too scared to do it myself, but
I'm the friend that will jump for sure. I will jump, but I've always been that girl too. Sometimes I have good judgment, but even to this day, my daughter's like, "Is that safe, mother?" And you're like, "It's fine." But I've been that my whole life. I'm a jumper, and then I kind of think about the things afterwards. But it's
Well,
done well.
it inspires us, even if you're a
Thank
little
you.
bit scared. And we have another friend who just did the same in Europe, and her photos and video were incredible. You're like in the sky with the other balloons and the clouds, and so kudos for doing it. You
Thank
fooled
you.
us. We thought you were, that
No,
you were, but it's good to be honest.
I mean, I love the moment. I love the video I showed. I loved at that moment. But then you get way up, and you're like, I could jump out of here if I want to. And then you're thinking, there's no straps, there's nothing holding you in but a basket. I don't know.
Well, maybe we'll do that one day.
I'm really selling
I
it,
might
aren't
do
I?
it. That one sounds actually kind of nice. It's at
But you
least
could go in the middle.
slow. Yeah.
Yeah, there you
Go
go.
in the middle. All right, we'll report back if we do that one.
Good.
I want to know a little bit about your process, because from what I gather, it's just you and your cell phone or your whatever equipment you use. And you've created something meaningful and impactful and large scale. And I think it's just you and no crew. Is that right?
Yeah, just me. But I've done TV for years too. Like I always tell people, but I was telling my one girlfriend, she sort of wants to get into it. I'm like, I have three things I use. I use the ring light because the ring light makes you look. I have a ring light on right now, and it just makes you look more polished. So ring light, and then I use a tripod, and then I have my camera, and that's it. So I've just kind of become, and then I edit everything myself too.
So is the camera your, like whatever your cell phone is?
Yeah, just my camera. And then I have I love the magnet too because I have a selfie stick that just a magnet. It's the magnet that goes on it, and you just get it on Amazon, and that's all I do. And I actually like being by myself. I don't like sometimes my husband will walk in and I'm like, "What do you need?" Because I don't like people watching me per se. I like to do it on my own.
That's interesting. It always looks like you're doing a dialogue, which is in reality is just a monologue, but it always looks like you really are exchanging with somebody else as you do it.
Oh, well,
So
thanks, Joel. I do it all off memory too. I might have some notes for myself, like I'll say, okay, I want to hit these 3 points, but I never have a script really. I just kind of go off memory, and I'll just like the one I did yesterday was one take, and I edited it a little bit, but I wasn't even going to use it, to be honest. I sometimes I just do it to remember to do it for something else or to make it better the next time, but I ended up using it and it's doing really well. So I think sometimes just is being as authentic as you can and just like having an idea and just going with it. That's what I do. I don't really script it.
how many takes does it normally take for you to actually get what you think is like a good polished go? Is it one
3.
and done or?
Sometimes, yeah. Back in the day when I did TV, they called me one and done Katie because I think it's my improv skills. I always tell people take improv because it will teach you. It's the whole yes and process. It's like, you never deny someone. You just always take it and run with it. Yes and that's like how the motto in improv. And I feel like that is if I mess up, I just run with it. So I'll do about 3 takes usually, and it's usually the last one I'll take or the first one. But yeah, I just do a few. Uh-uh. Doing it well.
Maybe we'll take an improv class together. That could be
Oh,
fun.
you should.
That sounds
You
good.
guys should completely do it.
That yes and concept, they teach it in business too. I think it works in a lot of ways to make sure you're not taking somebody down if you're saying yes, but if it's the yes and, it really is
Right.
a way to make them feel listened to and included. And it is authentic in the way that you say it when you use yes and instead of yes but.
Yeah, and even if you screw up, I do a lot of live TV here in Chicago, and I don't worry because if I screw up, that makes you more likable. I always tell people it makes people like you more because it makes you more human. Who wants to be so perfectly polished? You make a mistake, apologize, and move on, and don't worry about it because everyone does that. So I make lots of mistakes, but sometimes I just add it in as part of my. I just laugh it off. That's all you can really do.
Well, that's inspiring, since one day I want to get back to news too. So
Yeah,
you're
there
always
you go.
afraid of making mistakes, and I guess
Oh,
as you
you know
go,
what my biggest problem is seeing the monitor. So then what do? I just got contact. I'm wearing multifocals right now so I can see you guys. But when the monitor's there, I can't read it. So I'm up and down with my glasses. And that was my insecurity of like, and then someone told me, just wear your glasses. And I was like, I guess but to me, it's like a sign of age and I don't want to look like I'm aging. So no, I'm gonna do it without my glasses. And then I'm like, you're right. Why don't I just embrace it? But I did get contacts. So now when I go on air, I'm more confident because I can read the notes or whatever.
That's funny. I haven't seen a teleprompter since I'm at the stage that I need readers, so I probably couldn't read it either.
Well, no,
I
it's like
have
a real
mine right here.
thing. Yeah. There you go.
Okay, just a couple of quick questions, and then if there's anything you want to add, I want to make sure we give you a chance to. But for moms and maybe dads who are home watching this or wherever they're watching it on the fly, sometimes there's a very sad side to all of this, as you know, and we kind of touched on earlier. So do you have any just quick tips that you would give to people if they're feeling like, they don't know what their purpose is now that their child is off to college and they're feeling sort of lost and, without direction? Just any
Yeah.
inspiring words for them?
I mean, I would say give yourself grace. Give yourself grace to just be in the moment for a minute. You don't have to be busy every second of the day when your kid goes off to college. Also, plan a trip because I felt like that helped us. We planned a trip. I went to Ireland with my parents. That was the whole thing. But that gave me I was focused on that and I wasn't so sad because I was excited about this trip, right? So I think that is important. Or you don't even have to go to somewhere like Ireland. Go just an hour away or just go with your girlfriends, plan it. And I think that's another key thing for me is really reconnecting with your girlfriends. I love my husband. So this isn't so Joel, I'm sure, we love our husbands. However, sometimes my husband doesn't give me exactly what I need in terms of a conversation. He's like, pats me on the back. He's like, you'll be okay. But I needed more than that. I needed to talk about it. And I think that's why I really went to my Instagram of talking to other women and having these full conversations. I feel full. And it's like, don't lean on your partner to keep you full and to keep, figure out what it is you love and just start taking classes or start working out or join a mahjong group, whatever. But I think connecting, women need other women and we need each other to kind of support each other. So I'd say, find a group and just don't put so much pressure on yourself too. Because my thinking is too, sometimes I was I hung out with a lot of my daughter's friends' moms in high school and I loved most of them. But there was a couple of them I'm like, I don't need to hang out with her anymore. I'm gonna go find my people, And so find your people and yeah, I think that would be my advice. And just also go to parents' weekend, do all these things. Usually it's about 6 weeks after you drop them off. So you can do 6 weeks. I don't know. I don't know if that's what do you guys think? What's your advice?
Totally agree. And at the beginning, our daughter started in Paris, and Joel thought I should just sort of stay abroad with her. But I knew she needed the space, so I came back. But then I always say we interviewed the author of Empty Nest Blessed on the last episode. And I think I said, I don't think I took a deep breath between drop off. Well, maybe by the time we got on the plane, I was breathing until we got on the plane from taking off from Paris to when we saw her in Europe at Thanksgiving. I don't think my shoulders were up. I felt like, how am I going to get through all this time? So,
well, that's
I
hard.
guess,
You're going abroad. That's even harder.
yeah. And she was our son, we had gone through it with our son. We were very active with all things related to Alabama football games, parents' weekends. But when they're abroad, the next opportunity was Thanksgiving, and it felt like an eternity for me. I don't know about, I don't know how exactly I got through at the beginning, but I think I started to realize I have to develop these next chapters and paint my own canvas of hobbies and work, and because it's not good for her either, right? If all that's happening is me being sad, counting down the days. But what about, do you have anything to add for dads?
Yeah, no, I think overall, you mentioned parents' weekends. I think that's a huge one. I had a great time. I think I had to go back to my own Greek days to be able to keep up with everybody.
Oh,
But
yeah.
it sounds like I did well in that go around. So unfortunately, Lynn couldn't join. She was sick at that first one,
Oh,
which was
no.
an experience. But we made sure that we did go back for another game and at least have a similar type of experience there. And Alabama, I mean, they talk about the family there. They really do take the parents and make you feel like you are part of the family that they have there in Alabama. And Northeastern, where our daughter goes, similar. They don't do as much around the parents' weekend, but still a lot of things that we look at between their hockey, which there's a lot of experience. We're recording this the day after the USA just won the gold medal. So,
Oh, great.
that was a lot of Northeastern hockey players on the women's team in particular, and a lot of
Wow.
people from Boston and Boston University in particular, who are part of the men's USA team as well. So lots of ways to get that excitement and get energy. And I never thought that I'd spend days watching, Northeastern hockey as from home and feel connected to my daughter that way.
Oh,
But
I
it
love
really worked
that.
that way. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. At the end of the day, it's really hard, and no one prepares you for it. Especially with us, we had one and done, right? So it's like the house got so quiet, and that made me sad. You're like, okay, what do I do? But planning a trip helped me. My daughter didn't call me that often either because she's busy. She's trying to make friends, and I'm like, so it is hard. But I'd say find your people. Just try to find some or join some groups. Yeah,
Yeah, very helpful.
follow me on Instagram.
Oh, we will. Yes, we will definitely. Okay, so I want to give you a moment to just explain where people can find you, and I'm sure we'll have some follow-up questions, but where they can find this content that I've become kind of addicted to and sharing with everyone I know who has a child away at college.
Oh, thank you so much, Wayne. Yeah, you can find me just at Catie Keogh, and I always my name's a Catie Keogh. And I think I'm first Katie that pops up for the most part. So they'll find me if you know how to spell Katie with a she. And I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm trying to build this community of women to be like not sad, but look at this as our new adventure, right? Another thing I tell women all the time, it's like and dads too. We spent 20 years or 18 years or how many years being a parent, giving everything to everyone else. And this is your first time in your life, or at least in the last 20 years, that you can say, what do I want to do? What is it that I want? Now, I have senior parents, and so that's another element because now they need me all of a sudden. So you're like, okay, I thought I had this, I was going to run and I was going to go somewhere, but no, now I'm back trying to navigate that new stage of my life now too, because it's like their timing was perfect. Now they need me more after my daughter's off to college. But so there's that too. But yeah, just kind of figuring out what brings you joy. And sometimes it's simple things like gardening or knitting, but find whatever it is and go for it.
And it gets better. I guess if somebody asked me that, I would say it gets better because you get, just like you're in shock when you become a mom with a baby that you have no idea what you're going to do with or how you're going to, you learn the steps and it gets better.
It gets easier every year. Yeah.
And then you mentioned your mom. I know that some of your reels have to do with what doctor is it today type thing. But is your mom, does she have a good sense of humor too?
Oh my gosh, so much. She loves the camera. The camera loves her. My dad is really funny too. Both my parents are pretty funny. My mom's always been a jokester, pranks and the fake poop on the couch and my mom's always played jokes as long as I can remember. And my dad's really funny. So yeah, I've come from that and my mom loves it. I've had people say, "Is your mom?" My mom loves every second of it. And it's our fun together. Like when we went to the doctor, I'm like, "Let's do a video." She's like, "Okay," it was fun. So, yeah, she loves to laugh and she likes performing.
Oh, she looks so sweet when we get
Yeah.
to see her. It's fun when she makes a cameo. And then one of my last questions, because we've had this happen too, is how spring break is going to work for you. So it sounds like you're getting a quick touchdown and then a launch. Sometimes we get the touchdown. Sometimes we get we're just going to take off and not see you. This time we're getting our daughter the whole time, but we have to go travel for the first part of her break to meet her, and then she's coming to San Diego. So how do you kind of stay cool when you have this idea about how their time off is going to work, but they have a different idea about it?
Well, I have to be honest, I kind of let her call the shots in regards to that. I remember as a kid, I went on spring break. I definitely wasn't coming home. I would love for her to come home, but why would you want to come to Chicago in March? You know what I mean? When you can go. Now, our biggest dilemma right now is she's going to Mexico. And you're like, there's a lot going on in Mexico right now. She called me up last night and she's like, "Mom, I'm a little nervous to go there. But I know we put money down." And I said, "Don't even worry about that. If you're not comfortable there, don't go there." So now we're kind of trying to figure out if we're going to pivot or not. But it's crazy. They're going to Cabo, but listen to this. They've hired a security team. They have the security, which is great. But I'm like, why are we going to a destination when you guys need to hire security?
Well, if anything changes and she wants to come to San Diego, just message me and
I will.
I'll
She
get
did.
you
She
some
might be gone. We don't
suggestions.
know. At this point, we're gonna. I told her, relax. We've got a few days. Let's kind of see where the world is at. But she's coming home for 2 days too, so I'm excited. Even though that ticket was very pricey, I'm excited because we have a wedding. So she's coming home for our family wedding, and then she'll
Oh, great.
go off. Yeah. So we have a little bit of both, but she'll be home all summer too. So that's good.
Okay. Well, that sounds fun for you. And I guess we get our daughter for a week, and then we don't know about summer yet after graduation.
And
But
what year is she? Your daughter?
She got through in 3 years, so she's graduating in April.
Oh my goodness.
So we're moving to the next phase after April. At one point we had both of them in school at the same time. And those 529s weren't really built for for that level. And
It's true.
I've been talking to a lot of parents who, if their children went out of state or private, they really didn't have the 529s to that capacity. But
that's what happened to us too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you talking a lot about the finance department in some of your shows. So I don't know if that's your husband and you together, or if that's what you put on your husband. But I know we're looking forward to the finance department being a little more toned down here after April or May once she graduates.
Yeah, well, our finance guy, aka my husband, is a total pushover when it comes to our daughter. So he basically approves everything. However, I'm the one saying like, well, hold on a second. But yeah, I'm excited. You guys, congratulations to you both though, because that means
Thank
you won't
you.
have payments anymore either. That's kind of nice.
Yeah, we won't miss tuition payments. That's
Is
for
she
sure.
coming home to California?
She is not sure. She's kind of deciding where she'll land. But it will if it was California, it'd probably be Los Angeles. But we can take that. That's so close compared to Paris and then Boston, and then suddenly LA is 3 hours away. Is just right around the corner.
Exactly.
Well, I feel like we could talk to you all day long, but at some point we have to let you get back to your life and us to ours. I just want to see, is there anything that you want to add before we wrap up? And then we want to do one final mention of what your Instagram site is. But
Thank you. Well, I guess one thing well, first of all, I love being a part of this. So thank you for including me in your podcast, because I think as women and men and parents, I'll say, we need to keep talking, and we need to keep like being a community together. I think that's like my biggest thing. It's like, I love this community. These women that follow me are so kind and nice. And I ran into these women in TC recently, and they were so excited to see me. My daughter and I are like, what's going on? Like, me? And I loved every second, but they were like, you got me through. You don't understand. Like, I like would wait for your videos. And that just inspires me to do so much more. And I love it when people come up to me, and I love this opportunity that you guys have, and I have now too, of just a platform and to be a support for other people who are going through it. And it's a gift, and I feel honored to be a part of it.
Well, thank you for being an inspiration to us and for sharing your story with us. And we'd love to have you back either via Zoom or in person, in the studio if you come out to San Diego or LA, and even maybe your husband if we can get him to.
Yeah, good luck getting him to talk. But anyways, he's a bold. I always tell people, if you have a secret, tell my husband. He'll tell no one. Like he's a quiet, lovely guy.
He's a vault. Is that what you said?
He is a vault. Almost to the point you're like, you didn't tell him about what happened, like his brother or something. He's like, well, you told me not to. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's true. No, he's great. Like, he's a quiet guy, but yin to the yang.
Balances out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so everybody should get planning a trip, it sounds like, because that's the second time that we've heard that as one of the top advice points on the show. And we really appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And I'll message you separately to see if we can get a little clip of your one of your reels to share. And,
yeah, of course.
And I really feel like you've helped us too. Joel's probably a little bit newer to your content than I am, but in the early days when I just couldn't find, we also relocated, not to go on for another half hour here, but right after our daughter graduated. So San Diego is all new to me. So,
wait, where were you before that?
We moved around a lot around Northern California, North America, pardon me. But we had just moved south from Orange County. So just 80 miles, but enough that, I wasn't surrounded by any of the moms that were going through the same thing. And it was all new. Both our kids were away at school. My parents aren't here. Most of my friends were somewhere else. And so I really, truly did find joy in every one of your posts and reels and continue to. So it's authentic.
Thank you. And do you guys love San Diego? Are you happy that you made that decision?
We do love San Diego, but we probably one day will be back to San Francisco because that's where most of our friends and a lot of our family still live. So
California is the best. I was just in Austin this weekend, and I have to tell you, I called up my husband. I'm like, we're moving to Austin. Because for me, we live in Chicago. I can't do these cold weathers much longer, but it is. So what you guys are doing, you're in this new chapter of life, which I think is really exciting. It's just kind of like, good for you for doing it. Because so many people would talk about doing it, but they don't. And that you guys jumped. That was an example of you jumping, right? You did it. I think that's awesome.
Thank you. All right. Well, it was great to meet you. We definitely want you back. And then Joel, I don't know if you have any final.
No, I mean, fantastic. This is, our second episode or third episode of this podcast, and to have somebody with your experience and your connections and your insights, it's just been amazing. So
Wow.
thank you so much for being with us here today.
It was my honor, you guys. I love it. And I can't wait to meet you in person, hopefully one of these days.
For sure. For sure. All right. Have a great day, and we'll
All
see you on
right.
Instagram.
Sounds good, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you to Signature Sound, where we recorded this episode. Signature Sound is a full-service multimedia facility. You can learn more at their website or call 858-758-8355.